right, I'd like to call this Town of Cedar Lake Unsafe Building Department meeting for April 17th, 2024, to order at 5:31. If we'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Ashley, if I could get roll call, please.
Mr. Beal?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
What were you doing?
I was looking this way.
You want to do it?
No.
Mr. Beal?
Here.
Ms. Dessauer? Here. Mr. Teal?
Here.
Mr. Dwightmeyer?
Here.
Ms. Abernathy? Present. Mr. Gatto?
Here.
Ms. Hyduk is present.
Thank you. All right, minutes. The minutes were for the February 21st meeting. Ashley, you said that the last month's meeting, we're not ready yet, right?
No, they're still being worked on. As soon as they are ready, I will distribute them to the board.
Thank you. All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from February 21st, 2024?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
All right, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Vote carries 3-0. Thank you. All right, first on active unsafe, item number 18120 Lakeshore Drive, Bank Shots Bar and Grill, formerly Shane's Bar and Grill.
I'd like to go ahead and provide an update for this item. So, and Heather can attest to this, they were at the April work session meeting. I think we're all finally on the same plane of the owner, their attorney, and their engineer on what they need to do. They are working on the engineering documents for that, and we're hoping to have them back in front of the Plan Commission in May.
They are just as excited to get this cleaned up and opened as
Yes,
we are.
they are. I was at I attended in the audience as well for that, so.
Yeah, I don't foresee any issues. They seem to be chugging along now.
So I would imagine we're gonna still defer this, just because of the fact that.
That's the board's decision.
Yeah.
Are they still gonna do it in projects because of, they don't
I
have
mean,
the
we can't just take it off of the list,
I mean-
No, yeah.
until they get an approval, so.
Yeah, their intention was the parking was the hitch.
Yeah.
And so their intention is to build according to what they can fit for parking now. They're very clear on what that is.
Okay, good.
And then hopefully acquire more land and parking it later.
Very good.
And they're on the agenda for tomorrow? Or
No,
tonight, I
no.
mean, or no?
This would be a voting meeting tonight, so they'll be back, they should be back in the work session next month, correct?
Next month,
Correct.
okay.
And then hopefully for a vote in the end of May.
End of.
Yeah, this past meeting, they kind of brought forth what it was that they were looking at for parking and, talking that they're going to fit to parking. So they wanted final kind of check off by Plan Commission before they engaged the full engineering for the site as well as the preliminary plat.
Okay. So a 30-day would be May 15th?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Anybody like to make a motion, defer for 30 days?
I'll make that
Just out
motion.
of curiosity, do you want to bump it only 30 days if you think they're not coming back for a vote until May?
Well,
Do you think, are you gonna think 60 or?
I would prefer to leave it as 30 with the understanding that they'll communicate with you for an update. I would feel more comfortable with 30.
I would too,
Okay.
just so it's not that they can stall, not that they
Sure.
would, but, just so it'd be sooner
Yeah.
than later.
And I'll see them at the beginning of May as
Yeah.
well, so I'll probably have an update
Update,
that
yeah.
I'll share with you guys. You'll probably be in the meeting, but if not.
Yeah.
Joe and Sam are both very communicative about this property.
Yes.
Okay, so my motion will stay at a 30-day deferral.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes?
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Vote carries 3-0. Item number 2, 9320 West 142nd Avenue, Northwest Indiana Casas LLC, formerly Midland Trust Company, as custodian FBO Pamela Broadway, account number 1716575.
I do not see Mr. Martin in attendance tonight, and I did not receive a request for a Zoom invitation tonight, so he has not received a Zoom. I can report that he does have the interior demolition permit pulled with a general contractor on that permit.
Wasn't that permit only until the 16th?
It was supposed to be only until the 16th, and I never made that note. So right now, there's a clerical error where it's showing all the way until April of next year.
Oh.
My mistake.
How
I
do
did
we
not
fix
get
that?
that on the. I need to let the building department know, have the girls update that permit application information and have them come pick up a new permit placard.
Because it should have expired yesterday. I had it notated as the 16th.
Right.
Correct.
It's making my eye twitch. So what do we do with that now?
Well, I guess the issue before you guys, I mean, the permit itself is kind of at the planning and building level. For you guys, it's how long do you want the permit to be issued? Because you need to give your direction to Ashley, and then she needs to make that happen.
Well, it was issued though. We agreed for it to be issued and expired yesterday.
So you need to set a new expiration date for that, and then Ashley needs to communicate that with the property owner and get that updated permit over to them.
And I will do that first thing in the morning.
I mean, I would say it needs to expire the day before our next meeting.
Yes,
That's good.
which would be May 14th.
Because right now, right, they have a permit that's good for a year, which could be why they're not here.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
need
he
to,
probably saw that date and was celebrating.
All right. Yeah.
I think they need to be apprised of the fact that this is still within your purview, and you want to see progress, you want to see them back here.
I will make that phone call tomorrow morning and have a new placard, permit placard made up with the correct date and to them tomorrow.
Okay.
Very good.
So that was May, what was that?
14th is the day before next meeting.
All right. Would you like to make a motion on that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, I guess, update the expiration of the permit to May 14th.
And would you like them to appear at the May 15th meeting?
Yes, because now he's had a whole extra month, so I would certainly hope that this is complete by then.
Okay.
Now, is that also to defer this matter until the May meeting?
Yes, I'm sorry, and defer to the May 15th meeting.
All right, can you second that?
Yes,
Jeff?
I second.
All right. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, vote carries 3-0. Item number 3, 7308 West 138th Place, Herrera, formerly Parrot.
So, Ms. Herrera is the new owner of the property. She did reach out to me, Monday, and then we had a conversation yesterday. She was unable to arrange her work schedule to be here tonight, but their plan is to try and repair and restore the building to its former days, when it was unsafe, when it wasn't an unsafe house.
Correct.
She has said that they have been out cleaning up the property on the weekends, over Easter weekend, Sunday, and this past weekend. I talked to her about getting an interior and exterior demolition permit so that they can begin seeing what it is that they have to work with to repair that property. And I did advise her, since she wasn't able to be here, likely the board would like to see her May 15th.
Did she let on to whether this was going to be like a flip property for her, or if they intended on living there?
From the sound of it, they want it to be their property and they want to repair and fix up and maintain their property. She hasn't really indicated if it's going to be a flip. She indicates that they're going to be doing a lot of work themselves, her and her husband is a handyman.
I mean, that's not super reassuring to me. Everyone seems to be a handyman, so,
Well, I mean, for the fact that it's under a personal name, not a business, I mean, I would think it'd be more inclined to being a flip if it was a business and then have to get the licensed contractor. Not that it still wouldn't happen, but.
yeah. What are your thoughts over there?
Well, I mean, I definitely want to see something done to it. And since she is the owner now, I mean, I definitely want to see her here at the next meeting on the 15th. Tony, have you been past it lately to see if she is doing any more cleaning on it?
Last week, there was some more cleanup that was done outside.
Yeah.
I assume she was aware that this was an issue?
We've talked, and she's quite aware, and I've made her aware of the typical unsafe board process about permit time limits and all that stuff, and she was quite aware of that. She did actually attempt to get me an interior exterior demolition permit, but she accidentally submitted me a planning application instead, so I sent her the actual building permit and told her what to correct on it.
Okay, because I would say that that permit needs to have some stipulations regarding an expiration as well.
Yes. And now we're talking interior, exterior.
Yeah, they wanna
Typically, how long
kinda
would you-
clean up the interior, exterior, kind of remove everything, kind of peel it back and see what it is that they're gonna have to do to repair the property.
Okay,
Okay. Not much we can do, but ask her to come back, right?
yeah.
I will let her know that for sure, be at the May 15th meeting.
Okay.
Do we need a motion on that, or,
It'd be a deferral,
okay.
unless you wanna add any stipulations or orders to appear or anything like that.
I mean, does it have to be in order to appear, Ryan, or is it just the
No, I
fact
mean,
that
it
it's just...
doesn't need to be treated in some
Actually,
of the
just-
same fashion as the ones that don't ever appear.
Okay.
But, I mean, you could direct Ashley to just send her out the notice to appear, you know, hey, come to the meeting, talk to us.
Yeah, just so it's official.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
correct.
I do have a deferral form letter that the item was deferred, please appear at the next meeting, I could send her that one.
That'd be good. Okay, could I get a motion to defer then?
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
And I'll second.
all right, that motion would be deferred till the May 15th meeting. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stetshauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, vote carries 3-0. Item number 4, 7105 West 128th Avenue, Cagnina.
Why don't I see that one?
It's in the book.
I see the 09.
That's the one that is kind of, it was pre-COVID, and then it got added back on, with additional conversation about the fact that 7105 was in worse repairs than 7109, and
We had pictures and a report on it though, right?
We did, I mean, it
Yeah.
was on the last agenda, you know, 5A and 9 were both.
Okay, so it just didn't make it in the iPad.
my apologies.
No, that's okay. Just, I was making sure I wasn't crazy and that I had indeed seen the
Yeah.
photos and reports.
All right, name and address for the record, please.
Gino Cagnina, 16120 Forest Avenue, of course.
All right. Okay.
I apologize for not being here last time, I got screwed up in the schedule.
Okay, and as far as the meeting prior to that, what have you done?
Oh, searching out builders and demolition people, and I finally got one. They just squared it away with Ashley today, or in the office. This has been an ongoing thing for about 2 weeks. I said, you gotta get out there, I got the meeting tonight. So they made the final attempt.
Because you're definitely planning on demolishing the whole thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I wanna get that all leveled up and put some potatoes and onions in there. Just kidding.
You have a good poker face, sir.
Yeah.
Is that for both of them then, the
Yes.
05 and 09?
Yeah, yeah.
I do have demolition permits for both, properties currently in my office awaiting time periods to be stipulated by the Unsafe Board. The last motion in March was for him to pull a demolition permit in March for 30 days on that, the permits had not been submitted and pulled. So any time period, I would need a new time period for what has just came in.
I just pulled it up, I just bought that, what's 2 weeks ago?
You submitted it last week.
Yeah. That's right.
So we're still gonna do these separate though?
Correct.
Yeah.
Likely be the same motion for both, but for clarity, do it separately.
What's your thoughts?
So, it'd be a 30-day deferral, hypothetically speaking, and then, agrees to issue the permit for, what, 30 days?
Can I
Yeah.
say something real quick? They told me 3 to 5 weeks, and the way they work and kind of slow and busy with other stuff, I'm thinking 45 days. I don't want to come back with the same news again, you know?
Yeah.
If you would grant me 45 days, I can get them to at least muster up a little something and instead of rushing to the last minute again. There's a lot, plus I have to deconstruct one of the houses somewhat. I put a lot of material into it, Tony knows. I wanna get that out of there. I need a little extra time.
So permit for 45, but he'd still have to appear, which would be 60 days.
That would be our June 19th meeting.
Can I also ask something else? Can I put a pod next to the, property somewhere where I can get the material into it and get it, and their material too, if they have the, equipment that they wanna use? But everything's going down and,
So Ashley, how would that work then as far as the pod then? Because it would depend on how long it's there, like to put the material in and then they take it to wherever they go, right? So you wouldn't intend on leaving it there?
no, just until it's all cleared out and.
So when it comes to storage boxes, Comex boxes, things like that, they're typically not allowed. But if there's an ongoing construction project for storage and security of the building materials, we do allow for a contractor to keep a storage container on the property during an active construction site. So that's it would depend on active construction and are the pods staying there just for the demolition
For
or?
the demolition, until it's all cleared out, then the pod goes.
So if you have a 45-day permit, it would be gone in 45 days.
For the pod, well, they need the 45 days. I think the pod would be an extra week or two.
You wanna just make
I wanna
everything
sure
60
it's
days
clear.
instead of,
Well, the permit would expire the day before, right?
If that's the
Instead of
direction
45, I mean, does it make more sense to do,
if the direction of the board is to have it expire June 18th, I can have that. I can have that stipulation on the building permit. We could also add another note on the bottom of the permit that any storage container is to be removed by the time the demolition of the buildings are completed.
yeah, because it wouldn't be a construction, it'd be just strictly there for demo, so as soon as demo's done, and then if it's gone earlier, it's gone earlier.
Right.
Yeah, I'd also like to clarify somewhere about, I've seen, not with you, no offense, but where we grant an inch for something, and then next thing you know, there's 8 Comex boxes out there.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do that?
Well, the one thing I'd want to be careful with is your purview pursuant to the unsafe building law is dealing with unsafe buildings. Getting into the finer details of a storage box is beyond sort of your scope.
So what's in our, oh my gosh, my brain.
Well, would that still be in Ashley's line with the building department and everything,
I think
so?
that's more of a building department handle now.
Okay, so we don't even need to have that in our motion as far as the pod, because
Correct,
that's
because
strictly
I don't think
on.
you guys can really make a motion on that particular item.
It's something we can monitor in the building department level.
Because I believe what Ashley said before is, and it seems like it's a building department policy,
Mhm.
that they permit them for active construction sites, right?
Yep.
So,
But could she then switch it to it's just for active demo?
I mean, I think reasonably, demolition could be construed as construction as well.
Okay.
Deconstruction too.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I don't think that's unreasonable, but in terms of how long it stays there and what's too long, that's gotta be handled by the building department. And, when they think it's too long and they communicate that with Mr. Cagnina, and, he gets it out of there or he doesn't, then, if he doesn't, then it's up to the building department to take care of that. It's not something that you guys can enforce.
Well, I'm just wondering then if we just stick with the 45 days that he asked for then.
I agree, because we went from 30 to 45 to 60.
Yeah, so let's keep it at the 45. We don't have to worry about the, pod, because that will be handled with Ashley in the building department.
Plus, that's just
So
more money.
so demo permit 45 days, and then he'd have to still appear at the June 19th meeting?
Correct. I mean, and basically, once that happens, assuming Mr. Cagnina comes back in June and says the properties are gone, and Tony says they've checked off on the demo permits and they're good, then these matters can be taken off the agenda. The rebuild is handled at the building department.
Yep. You good with that, or?
Yeah. Kinda have to be.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be looking for a demo permit for 45, expires in 45 days, and a deferral to the June 19th meeting. Somebody like to make that motion?
I can make that motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Jeff Beal, a second by Heather, to issue a 45-day demo permit, and for Mr. Cagnina to reappear at the June 19th meeting. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stetauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. Okay, moving on to item number 5, which is 7109 West 128th Avenue. Can we just go straight into the same motion, because this is gonna apply for both, right?
Yeah, unless you have anything else to add on this particular one.
No, it's just, the whole thing's gonna be ground level.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's no further comments, then you can just jump right into a motion.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion by Jeff, second by Heather, to issue the 45-day demo permit, and for Mr. Cagnina to reappear in 60 days on the June 19th meeting. Roll call, please.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stetauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, vote carries 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What do you have in mind for like a community garden?
That would be the Parks Department.
Yeah.
That's a different board.
Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, item number 6, 14616 Dewey Street, Frick. Name and address for the record.
Tom Frick, 8008 West 46th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana.
All right, do we have any more update on this, Ashley, in your side, or no?
Last Mr. Frick and I talked, which was earlier this week, he kind of had some potential concepts, but I'm not sure if he's finalized any decision plans yet on what he's wanting to rebuild on the property.
Did you have anything for us as of today, or no?
What to look at?
Yeah.
I just got sketches, you know, and there's stuff.
Thank you. Have you seen any of these, Ashley, at all, or no? I don't know if you want to take a look. Roughly, what does it say, square footage?
Second page. Is this whole house coming down, or are you planning on keeping any of it to rebuild?
I'm not sure yet, most likely to come down, but I'm not sure.
Because it says it's on piers, right?
Yes. I'm not sure about what's the difference between a remodel and, you know, because before it used to be where remodels, we say one wall, remodel, but I don't, I'm not sure.
I mean, I can let Tony speak to that, but I think not having a foundation is probably the problem with that, right?
I mean, even if you were to raise the house and put a foundation under it, that, it would still be the same house. It would essentially be a, you know, repair and replacement. So I see where he's at, and I don't honestly know if that's still a thing or not.
I
about
don't
the,
either.
yeah, you'd have
Because
to do
before, it
research.
used to be a difference, but now I don't
Right.
it makes a difference now.
Right, I was told it's no different, but I can't attest to that.
That, I'm the same way, I don't know.
Right.
So, sir, what's the time frame on this? I know that, you said you were kind of waiting on the builder, but are we talking 6 months? Are we talking years? What's the general plan here?
I have no idea. I'm just going as it goes. As soon as I get the plans, then I'll be going to see about getting permits and getting the general contractor and going from there.
That is your contractor, right?
No, she's the designer or architect. I can't get a contractor because he has nothing to look at. For me to get a bid from him,
How long have you owned this house?
quite a while.
But you should be able to get some kind of an idea from a contractor with those sketches that you just showed us, though, I would think.
I don't know how they work like that. I mean, there's probably gotta be more details in that.
Well, yeah, I would imagine there's gonna be all the mechanical drawings and everything else that goes with it, but if they at least have some kind of an idea what you're looking to do, they could move forward from there. How long that process is, I'm not sure.
What would your ideal timeline be? When would you like, if everything in the perfect world, I know it's tough getting contractors and doing what you want done. I mean, you plan on having it done by the end of the year?
What I would like to do is sometime in August, when it ain't raining, where it's dry, stuff where we can do the foundation and stuff, that's what I would do, because most of the time in August, September, that's when we don't get no rain. But that's on the foundation, starting a new house. So that would be this house would be before that.
Yeah. Great that you're building a new house, but that's not our main concern. Our main concern is getting rid of this one. So I guess that's our total concern. So, Tony, I'm sorry I missed the end of the last meeting, but I watched, and I think they asked to see if you could go update the report.
I don't think anything's changed, except maybe some trailers have moved, something like that, but the condition of the house is pretty much the same.
Okay.
Not sure what you think.
Yeah, I guess, so, like I said, the house has to come down, and I guess the only choice you have to make is if you're salvaging a wall for a remodel versus a new build purpose.
Yeah.
So, you don't even need plans for that necessarily, you would just need a contractor to let you know what the best course of action is with that. The original report was done 18 months ago, so it's been a long time.
18 months.
The original report was done on October 24th, 22. So someone called and complained about it back 18 months ago, or multiple people, I don't know, I don't have access to that information.
I would like to know.
I wouldn't even know how, I don't even know how that.
Well, I know in the past, though, I believe there was quite a backlog, Tony, with the amount of houses on the list.
There were reports that were finished and sitting in the unsafe folder, just waiting to be presented. So, yeah, they just sat in that folder with, the board didn't have time to get to it yet.
Tony did share besides this list, there was another page and a half of potential that aren't even on here.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I'm concerned about not only the appearance of it, but seems to be a lot of stuff in it. So, now we're talking a potential fire hazard. Is the electric on in there? What's the status of all of that with the house?
I'm using it for storage. Yes, there's gas and electric in there, and it's fine.
It's not fine to use a home as storage, and it's not fine that your neighbors have to look at this. It's not fine. Would you want to look at this every day?
I'm thinking we're gonna need some kind of report as far as how soon he can speak with the contractor to get the ball rolling sooner than August, for sure. You know, 'cause it's gonna take some time just for them to, you know, figure out what they have to do, you know. Looking at the foundation on this, you know, I like the sketches, you know, that, you know, what you'd like to see there. I don't see how they'd make it happen with the current situation of the piers, especially with that one that I see in this picture leaning roughly about a 45-degree angle. You know, that plan, those sketches ain't going on this foundation for sure. Whether it was lifted, put slab, put foundation, put whatever under it, I mean, it's gonna be quite the feat. I just think there needs to be somewhat of a, I don't wanna say rush on finding out if you can get a contractor, but, you know, something sooner than August, I would think. Is that your feelings, or what are you even thinking on that? I mean, you're calling anybody, or nobody calling back, or what's happening with any contractor?
Well, I got somebody in mind, but until I get a drawing, and, hopefully I hear from her real soon about, cause so far what she's drawn up and everything is, I agree with it. There's a couple changes that I made that, I communicated with her, and so she said she, you know, would get back to me, so.
But that, I mean, that's with the new house, right? Well, we're concerned more about the existing structure out there.
Well, I'm trying to do where they cost me a whole lot of money to bring somebody in and tear it down, and then they leave. I gotta pay for that.
Yeah.
And then I gotta bring them back in again to start excavation on a new house.
That would likely be two separate people anyway, the
I'm
demo,
sorry?
that would be a demo, and then that would be a construction, so that's normally,
It's still excavating, right? I have to dig for the foundation and stuff.
there is
right?
no foundation, you're on piers there.
But you're using machine to demo it, right?
Okay, I don't,
Yeah, I mean, yes, you would be using machines to demo it, but, I think what you're asking, Heather, is, it's not like there's a basement or anything like that where you'd be taking off the house and then having by Unsafe, where you'd have to fill the basement with fill and then move forward with that. This is something, I mean, to me, knowing one of the other houses that was recently taken down, it was just a matter of 3-4 hours, and this is almost the same type of foundation. A little bit larger size house overall as far as square footage, than the one that was, over off of Hilltop. But, I mean, Tony, am I right, pretty much about the same kind of foundation as the one on Hilltop that was?
No, the one on Hilltop actually had a block foundation, where it wasn't missing. It wasn't just on piers, so there was a little more to it. It still came down and got tossed into the house in 3 hours, I think.
I mean, I'm thinking that, you know, just by looking at the foundation or what's left of it, it'd be knocked down and flat, so I don't see any type of fill required. Is that what you're thinking, or?
I mean, I see grass underneath the house, so.
Yeah, I do too. I just don't like the, you know, I don't like August, that seems too far away. I'd like to see somewhat of a sooner update as far as what, you know, as far as you getting a hold of a contractor, having them, you know, get back with Ashley or, you know, even before the meeting to kind of expedite it a little sooner if they can, you know.
I don't understand. What's the hurry?
Well, I think mainly it's the condition of the house, and is according to the unsafe standards and stuff, the appearance on the foundation, the fact that the piers are leaning over,
Well, it says right here, structural condition makes it unsafe for people and the property. Unsafe, it constitutes a fire hazard. It constitutes a hazard to public health, constitutes a nuisance, danger to persons and property because of several violations of codes, ordinances governing building construction and maintenance.
If you want to look to one of the monitors, these are some of the photos that are in the report.
And I believe the worst ones, Ashley, are the ones on the foundation.
Mhm. So this is what they're concerned about. They are concerned about the condition that this house is currently sitting in and the danger that it poses to the surrounding properties and the neighbors in that subdivision.
I mean, this report goes back to October 24th of 2022, right? So, I mean, that's almost 2 years that nothing has been done on your part or with anything. Is this one of the ones that got stuck in a file, or?
So one of the ones that was basically on a waiting list to be
Yeah.
presented.
It doesn't look like anything has really been done out there yet, has it? Have you?
Other than you said taking care of some trailers and stuff.
But it's still unsafe, and if someone were to get hurt out there, and there's, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like the thought of August being, I'd like to see a contractor involved sooner, way sooner. Is that what your thoughts are?
Yeah, all of us live here and
Yeah.
live around homes like this. None of us want to live by homes like this. It's not fair to the people who are taking care of their properties. I'm concerned about the fire department, if something happened and they get called out there. The neighbors, the kids that run around out there, I mean, that's my concern. That's the rush. You don't think it's a big deal, the town does. I would say 30-day deferral, with the expectation that we have a plan in 30 days. We have a list of contractors that you're welcome to use as well, as far as demo, if you'd like to call those people to come out and give you a quote. But this can't sit like this until August. That's my feeling.
30-day deferral, which would be
May 15th.
May 15th. Can I get a second?
A second.
All right, we have a motion for a 30-day deferral, made by Heather, seconded by Jeff. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. You understand what we're wanting, right, by next meeting? At least some progress moving forward with the contractor, have the plans, actually, I'm sure we want to get those back to him. By next meeting, we'd hope that you'd have somebody lined up, that they could have a plan. Whether they intend on tearing it down themselves, or if they have somebody that would be a demo contractor. But something definitely needs to be done. So, see you at the next meeting. Moving on to item 7, 14737 Bryan Street. It would be 14737 Bryan Street Trust. Well, name and address for the record, please.
Lakia Hatzenegger, I'm the agent for Maxwell Properties, and the address is 8410 Kennedy Avenue in Highland, Indiana.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Get to that. All right, Ashley, do you have any update on this?
I think when I was prepping the iPad for tonight, I accidentally removed the garage photos that Tony had taken. At the last meeting, there had been some photos on the iPad that there was some cleanup. The garage was down.
The garage is down, right?
The garage was down, but there's some more cleanup that needs to happen on the property. Tony, can you speak to what all more needed to be done? if you remember.
The last picture you can see in that is, it's not overgrown anymore, it's actually, it's an outhouse. It's a concrete outhouse that.
The last picture.
The last picture, yeah, the door is pretty much missing from it, the roof is caved in. My concern is it's a concrete foundation that's just basically an open hole. Once again, kids playing around in that nature.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be taken care of, and there was an old,
Shed.
fuel oil tank and some tires and whatnot, I think a refrigerator or a washer, dryer, or something like that. The garage was definitely down and cleaned up, but
Second to the last picture. Yeah, I
debris
mean, what-
around the garage. What's that?
Second to the last picture, is that a shed or was that the garage?
That's the shed, it was in bad condition one day when I was there, and a couple weeks later, it was flat. I don't know if kids flattened it, or wind, or what happened, but all that stuff should be cleaned up.
This is the property that was purchased, they were gonna flip it, then they decided they didn't wanna flip it anymore, they took the garage down. Right, and now it's up for sale again?
Not yet, that's why we're here. I just want to ask you a question about that, Tony.
Sure.
Okay, are you referring to, because there were two structures behind the garage, are you, one was left because I think when they read it, it said to clean up around it because of the vegetation? So that's what
Couldn't
they
even see what it
did?
was, yeah, now that I
Yeah.
see what it is.
You see what it is now? Okay, I just want to make sure you have the updated photos.
I took some photos, I guess they didn't make it on the
Oh,
iPad.
okay. Yeah, can I show you?
Sure.
Just to make sure you have the updated. If you have the same one.
Right, so this
So were
is
you
the
talking-
outhouse.
Yes, and that was the one that said the vegetation was
Right,
around it.
yeah, I can see the way it did look.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even.
Absolutely.
Right.
So they thought that's what they were supposed to do, just clean the vegetation. They weren't aware that they had to demolish it.
Well,
So now
knowing-
you're saying you should.
Yeah, knowing what it is now, yeah,
It
what it
should
is
be.
and the condition of it, I thought maybe it was another shed or something, but
Got it,
it was
okay.
an outhouse. Kind of issue.
And is this the flat part you were talking about?
Yeah, there was that was this steel shed.
Okay, now that's gone.
Same thing, well, yeah, kind of, I mean, it's there in a pile.
Right, okay, I guess my question is, since they're planning to sell the property, because they would rather just sell the property at this point and have someone who can come in, do it, it's a beautiful, it's only a beautiful piece of, like, couple of, lots, it could be beautiful. But they want to sell it to someone during, as soon as possible, so that they have the time to make it pretty before the winter, hopefully. My question is, we usually want to include a list of the repairs that were, that need to be made, so the next person that comes in already knows this. If we can just have the list updated of what's been done so far, and a new list of what needs to be done, so they understand moving forward when we list it, that's pretty much our question. And if we can put a sign outside, I don't know if that's allowed. Do you all allow the real estate signs to go outside?
We do.
Good, okay.
And if I can direct the board's attention to either monitor,
Mm-hmm.
these are the photos that were,
Oh, no, it doesn't look like that anymore.
no, I went to,
Yeah.
I'm the
Can you-
owner.
You wanna see?
Hello, yeah.
Yeah, if you could, please.
And this is,
They don't
this
look like
is
that no more.
the structure that Tony's referring to.
I think she's showing them before.
These are photos that he took before the meeting last month.
Oh, yeah, okay. We have the before and after, so if you wanna see that in on the paper, you can.
Was the house and the garage making this on the unsafe list, or just the garage?
Mainly the garage, the condition of the house was not amazing, but it was, the garage was definitely, the roof was falling in, it was not good.
Okay, so this will, whether it transfers hands or not, ownership-wise, will remain on the list, on the unsafe list?
It'll still remain on there even though the garage was removed.
Yes, because the home was involved with the report as well.
Got it, okay. But can the report be updated so that we have something
Yeah, we
on
would
record?
just have to instruct Tony, right, to
Yeah.
to just update it?
That
Yeah, you
would
should-
help, yeah.
You should update with the fact that the garage is gone, and then I would add in those, any updated
Yeah, the
photographs.
vegetation, like whatever's on there that we did do.
Yeah, definitely.
That
They
way we
did do a
can
good
sell
job
it.
cleaning up the site, for sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I can see that in those photos.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Here's your pictures.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I mean, we'd still want them back in 30 days regardless, just because we don't know how long it would sell.
Correct, yeah.
I said we'd still want to see 30 days, just for the fact that we don't know how long it would take to sell. And we don't want to say,
That's,
you know,
what we're looking for is.
anything longer.
Okay. Now, but did they say the house was part of the unsafe? I thought he said it was.
No, he said both, the house and the garage was worse.
Yeah,
Well, we need to ask Tony how long it would take
that's all right, I didn't know what it was.
for him to have it
All
dated,
right.
and then we can learn from there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can see the house from the street.
Absolutely. And
Some of our
Yes,
issues are.
I agree.
I mean, this is boarded up now, but there's separate, basement windows that are boarded up. So
Right.
It's gonna remain a little like that.
And that's fine. We just want whatever is updated, so that when we get it, sell it
I
to the
agree.
next person, they'll know exactly what they need to do. And we can.
So we try to make the right thing, and we've been putting
Hey, Tony?
Yes.
So basically what we're thinking, we were discussing that we're still gonna want, have, instruct you to go and, update the report. Not really treat it like it's new, but just update it. Have a deferral for 30 days so they come back again so we can look at your updated report. You should have it ready for us for sure by 30 days, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you want them to clean up that, get rid of that, outhouse and the other, stuff that was in the back?
He was saying that.
Can we know now?
Yeah.
I would think.
I would say whatever loose debris is around there that can get cleaned up, the better.
The house. Yeah.
And the outhouse,
Yeah.
just because of the condition of that as well. Right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so when were you planning on, are you the real estate agent?
I am.
Okay, so when were you planning on listing then?
We
Soon?
wanted to come here first, so we can list it right away.
Okay.
Right? It was after the meeting.
Okay.
We wanted to make sure that everything was okay.
Yeah, it's a great piece of land in a
It is.
desirable area,
Oh my
of the
God,
lake.
yes.
So I don't think you're gonna have any problems as long as it's priced well, but, as long as the new buyer understands that they're still gonna be on the list and they'll have to report.
Right.
With
And
the
that's why
plan.
I'm here. I wanted to make sure I disclosed everything, so
Yeah.
they knew what they were getting
Yeah.
into and had a
Appreciate that.
list, for sure.
Perfect.
So you wouldn't have problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you all.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm the owner.
Okay.
So, I wanna know, do we need to do anything, but we've been trying to do the right things, we've been putting money to clean it up, demolish the garage, to make it, we understand your concern, and we've been trying to do it. So can I know now if we need to do anything else outside, or we're good?
Well, definitely
With
cleaning
what
up the
we-
debris, removing the outhouse that's there.
And that's it.
Tony will be doing, yes,
Okay,
yes. Tony will be doing a updated report.
and can we get it before a month?
No, the meeting is, are you saying another or?
I think she's asking about the updated report, and they can always reach out to me and provide an email to me, and as soon as Tony's got it updated, I can share it with the board, and with the board's permission, share it with them.
Okay, how long do you think it'd take for a new report, Tony?
Get it done next week sometime.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you want it so you could share it with the potential
And we can
buyer.
list
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
away for you.
Okay, I
And
understand that,
if you
yeah,
say
absolutely.
that, if you say that we need to remove this and this, I can do it.
Yes,
Like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow,
so we have a good report, from you guys.
yeah.
We want to do whatever you want us to do.
We appreciate that.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So if you think that we need to remove this and a little bit more of the debris, we can do that.
Yes.
And so she can get a clear, report and she can sell to a good buyer,
Yes,
right?
all sounds great to me.
Sounds good.
Just real quick, Sam, so we can have a clear record, can you state your name and address for the
30-day
record, please?
deferral, we're gonna be
Claudia?
instructing Tony
Navarre,
to update,
Okay.
And then
Kenny
our
Jackie,
blessing to send it when it's ready.
Tyler.
Yeah, as soon as it's finished, Ashley can send it to them so they can include it in their
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
listing.
Thank you. Can we just give her which addresses so I could give her so that she can send us some updated?
Okay.
You can give me a call.
Okay.
My direct extension here at the town hall is 133. Just give me a call tomorrow or Friday, and I'll get my email address over to you guys so that we can communicate via email.
Perfect.
Thank you all.
So,
Well, hold on 1 second, we still have to make, would you like to make the motion then?
Sure, yeah, I'll make a motion, for a 30-day deferral, with the understanding that we're asking Tony to go back out and update the report. Also giving our blessing to Tony to go ahead and send that as soon as it's done, because it will be done before our next meeting. I just ask, can you forward it to us as well when it's
Absolutely.
completed? And then you will need to, as long as you're the owner, you will need to report back in 30 days at the May 15th meeting at 5:30, just to give us another update. But please list it in the meantime, put your sign out there and get it sold, as long as you're telling the new purchaser that they are gonna have to see us as well.
And the report will help her.
Yes.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you all.
Okay, I have a motion from Heather.
Heather, real quick, does your motion also include the direction to them to clean up the debris and to remove that outhouse?
Oh, yes, the debris in the outhouse
Yep.
needs to be removed as well, yes, thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
I'll second that.
Okay, can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Desauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Good day.
Item number 8, 14714 Dewey Street, Urban James Linden. Name and address for the record, please.
Urban J. Linden, 14714 Dewey Street. I'm hoping to get a permit to finish cleaning up all of the stuff that's left. I got a little list of it.
Thank you.
At the last meeting, we couldn't get a decision because you didn't have enough board members left.
Right, yeah, we apologize for that.
Yeah, I'd like to get these things taken care of as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we couldn't take any action since I was the only one to, it kind of turned into a work session. Did we have any photos, Ashley, of the garage being gone? I thought we did, did I not see it in this?
My apologies, it looks like I actually.
But, because it was, I remember
Yeah,
last
the garage
meeting, it
was
was
down.
in there, but,
Yeah.
The garage was 100% down,
Yeah.
and he was working on getting that area cleaned up.
That was the
Yeah.
actual unsafe factor.
yeah, I was
The
just
rest
looking
of
for
the stuff
something.
is mostly just appearance,
Yeah,
and, I'd like to take care of all of those things as soon as possible.
This doesn't match with the photo, right? I think it's more, page 2, yeah.
page 2.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm assuming this is considered the back porch area, is that what you're,
I don't know, stop at fascia windows.
yeah.
I had a contractor re-roof the house. He talked me into removing that back porch, which caused a bunch of problems. That's why there's a problem with the basement stairs,
Okay.
because,
All right, I'll probably need you to have to go back over by the podium though, sir. All right, but, thank you. So Ashley, with looking at that list, what are you thinking permit-wise he would need or to present to you in the building department
exterior remodel, Tony?
If we're just going after the exterior of the house, then, yeah, something like that. Depending on what condition the window frames are in.
Well, I would like to get the house to where the appearance is acceptable now. Then, I'd like to do a lot of things with the windows, like replacing windows, well, replace the windows and the siding, but I gotta replace the windows before I change the siding.
Alright.
So what kind of time frame do you think that would take you to get that, to take care of the windows and siding?
That part is after this part. I wanted to do this part to make it look okay. You know, all of the things that are on the list, I would like to repair those, make the house look presentable, and then decide what to do about changing windows and what kind of siding to change it to.
So on your list that you presented to us, front of house, repair siding, repair and paint window trim, what's your intentions as far as, repair siding?
Repair siding? Okay, on the front, you have the picture at the front of the house there? The siding is rotted down at the bottom, it's vertical wood siding.
Yep.
And for some stupid reason, they've got this concrete thing that goes all the way across the front of the house, which caused a problem for the siding.
That's pretty much just like just a concrete porch, right?
Yeah, but it's useless.
Well, I mean, it looked like it created more issues with just the water.
That is what caused the problems with the siding. So I'd like to repair the bottom of the siding. You know, at this stage, just repair the bottom of the siding.
So are you talking repairing as in, since it's wood siding, cutting out and replacing?
Yeah, cut off,
Like a 2 foot, a foot?
Yeah, like 2 feet, 2 feet, maybe 32 inches.
Tony, would that be
All the way
acceptable
across.
for something like that, or I'm not sure on the seams on that, how that would,
Yeah, they're flashed. They're flashed properly, it's not a common practice because you'd go from, bottom to top, but.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Well,
would that be an
things that are over 1
acceptable
foot.
repair?
I suppose so.
I would just like to get it off of this list now, so I could move on and do other things to improve it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, regardless, it would still be on the list.
The concern would be what's behind that
Yeah.
too. That's the,
Yeah.
that's the siding, but if studs, if rim joists, if they're rotted too, then you're into that.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
you peel the siding off, so.
Yeah. So,
Any thoughts?
I don't know, it's got a lot of work, and you don't know what you're gonna find underneath the siding, 'cause
Yeah.
like Tony was saying,
you
everything
have
will
to
be rotted
deal
off.
with what you find, yeah.
But we gotta get going somewhere, you gotta
Yeah.
start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony, he could be able to get us, just a general permit for the exterior?
Yeah, he could definitely do an exterior remodel, he could do an exterior demo permit if he wanted to see what he was working
Cut that part of
with
the house, like what do we do?
before he pulled the permit, so.
Yep.
Okay.
So, south side of house, repair siding, repair paint, window trim, north side of house, clean siding, repair and paint
Yeah, the
trim.
north side's in pretty good shape, except for the green that you get on the north side of
So
everything,
which side is the side of the house with the gas meter on it?
the south side.
The south side. And when it's repair siding, these are two totally different types of siding.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your intentions on repair siding? Is it gonna all match, or is it gonna be all mismatched?
No, not at this point, it's, basically with the house, it depends upon where you're looking at it from,
Yeah.
where the siding
Well-
matches on the side that you're looking at. But I would just, it's gonna be different types of siding going around the house. But after it is all in decent shape, I would like to make a lot of other changes to the house, like replacing windows, and then re-side the whole house, and then it will all be the same.
That, I'm having a hard time understanding that part of it, because if we're gonna have different types of siding on it, but then you're gonna wanna re-side it, you know, when I look at the south side.
Lots of houses have different types of siding on them in different areas,
Correct.
and that can look okay, which
Well,
is what I'm after at the moment.
What type of siding is over that lap type siding on the south side of the house? Is that like, old school asbestos type siding?
I think that's what that stuff is considered, yeah. Yeah, I want to get rid of all of that down the road.
But I believe that would still cause it to
Patch up
be
what's there.
on the list, right, Tony? You see which picture I'm looking at with the,
Yeah, I'm not sure how it would be repaired.
I'm not either, because just, first, second, third row up of that lap siding is all buckled, it almost,
What I intended to do is take it off of other parts of the house, off of the back of the house, and put it on the side.
well, I don't know how else to say this, but I don't think just doing that will be taking it off the list. Are you feeling the same thing when I mean, it's hard to, it's kinda hard to see that.
Seems like the major problem with that siding over there is the appearance of it. Not
Well-
that it's any kind of unsafe thing about it, it's just the appearance.
Well, it does look pretty rotted on that south side.
You know, the south side of the house really gets big there. It's incredible how much sun hits that side of the house.
Well, Tony, if what he's saying he wants to do, would that take it off the unsafe list? What would you, like on the asphalt shingles there, on the side, would you get some other asphalt shingles to cover the wood, or,
Yeah, there are other parts of the house I could take them off of and put them over there.
and then you would paint and clean up?
They're already painted, I mean, they will match.
No, but I mean, you plan on painting like the front?
Mostly the painting part is the wood around the windows.
Well, but you'd still have to paint, I mean, if you're gonna go and repair that front of the house, let's just call it 2 feet up, you're gonna have to.
Now you're on the front part.
Well, I'm still looking at it as a whole picture, you know?
Well, it's,
I mean, 'cause that's what we have to, you know, 'cause we can't just, you know, piece the front and then come back in 30 days and piece the side and come back in 30 days and...
well, I didn't want to do 30 days to do this, 30 days to do that. I would like to have more than 30 days and get it all taken care of. After I get to that point, then I can get, and figure out what I want to do about changing windows, get permits to do that.
Well, I think it's gonna continue to stay on the list, because just going off of the list that you presented to us really isn't any kind of assurance that, it's gonna be able to be taken off the list. Is that what you're thinking, Heather?
Well, what can I do as far as getting some kind of a permit to try to fix all of these problems?
Well, that's the one that Tony talked about, right?
Exterior, either exterior demo or exterior repair, remodel.
Yeah.
And then he could submit a complete scope of work for everything that he's wanting to do.
Yeah, and it'd have to be more than just this for you, right? Or would you,
I don't know that if the siding is gonna come off other parts of the house really nice, being that old, I don't know if it's gonna be too brittle. I don't know that moving it to that side is going to the, you know, the south side is gonna actually work. I don't know if it's gonna appease you guys, so this is more like what is, you know, what do you feel he needs to do to make the house so the appearance is not what it is now?
Well, I know in your report you mentioned soffit and fascia.
On the dormer.
Pretty much your siding, soffit, fascia, windows are in pretty poor shape.
Oh. On the dormer is where he's notating that he's gonna fix that. Was it more than just the dormer?
Well, the side of that dormer has It looks like no siding on it at all. I mean, the concern is what's happened underneath that. I mean, the siding protects the sheathing, which covers the framing and.
I mean, that looks like plywood,
Right.
like bare plywood.
Right, right. So it's, I mean, just putting siding over that, I don't know. It's not, we're kind of passing the problem on to the next owner.
It's just like cosmetic instead of it
Right,
fixing the
right,
problem,
right.
because being exposed like that for I don't know how many years, that wood is not gonna be,
And the same thing is with the rotted window frames, if they are rotted to where they're leaking, that just goes right inside the wall, everything beneath the window rots. All this stuff, if it's not all addressed, it's just a waste of time, really.
But for him to get a permit to start this kind of stuff,
He can just give us the scope of works, if he's gonna replace windows, replace siding, replace, soffit fascia. I don't know what condition the shingles are in, I mean, it's basically an exterior remodel. If he uncovers any rotted lumber, if he, needs to replace anything, give us a call, we'll come out, see what he's doing, walk him through it.
and
Do you feel comfortable issuing a remodel permit at this point?
As long as we can assure that nothing rotted is being just covered up with siding or,
How do you monitor that?
really, he's gotta demo it first. If he's gonna re-side it, he's just about gotta remove all the old siding. It's gonna have to be house wrapped then. Whatever's rotted will have to be removed, replaced, then it'll get house wrapped, because that is a moisture barrier, water barrier. And then, we make sure window flashings are done right, which can't do until the windows are replaced. So a lot of things need to be done, and I don't know that patchwork is the answer.
Yeah, replacing windows is not on this list I know it's on your report, it's not on this list.
Right. And I don't know what condition the frames are in, if they could do replacement windows and leave the frames, and the frames can be wrapped, or if the frames are rotted, they can't be wrapped, they need to be, the whole window needs to be replaced.
So how do we issue a remodel permit?
And do a site inspection first probably, and see exactly what needs to be done, look at it closely, inside, outside, and see if there's evidence of leakage inside, and if there's evidence of leakage inside, obviously there's gonna be some rotted wall structure and whatnot,
So step one is site inspection.
probably so.
so we're basically gonna be looking at a 30-day deferral with Tony to do a site inspection, as far as what he's feeling is gonna need for, adequate repairs.
Right.
For this, I would feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
Jeff, what are your thoughts?
that's a good, I agree with that, let Tony go and do a site inspection and see if it's as bad as it looks or better or not as bad.
If the scope of work is gonna be sufficient enough for what your site inspection. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
All right. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion for a 30-day deferral, in that time asking Tony to do a site inspection, with Mr. Linden to see if, his scope of work matches our requirements within the town
For an exterior remodel.
for exterior remodel.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stetauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Motion carries 3-0.
And to schedule that site inspection, you just contact my office and we'll work out a time for you and the inspectors to meet out at the property to do that site inspection.
Okay. So it's another 30-day delay.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, that's what we have to do. He has to do a site inspection to make sure that the repairs you're gonna wanna do are gonna be sufficient.
No one knows at this point, including me, until
Well, yeah,
I mean, you gotta poke it to find out how it is.
exactly. That's why we have to do a 30-day deferral with this and see you back, on May 15th. Okay?
Oh, I don't have any choice.
Just get a hold of it, get a date set, and
Yep.
you guys can go out there and see what it looks like.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item number 9, 13713 Parish Avenue, Diamond Peak Homes LLC. Hello?
Hello, Michael Herbers with Diamond Peak Homes, 1313 White Hawk Drive in Crown Point, here to discuss the beautiful barn on Parish. So I have not given Ashley any updates, so I apologize about that, but we have been working internally to figure out exactly the next best step. It's unfortunately leaning more and more towards it's going to have to come down. You know, we have run different numbers and economics to see what it would take to repair it currently, and then to actually do an interior build out there, and there are just too many driving factors against us with that barn. So, with that being said, instead of just demoing it and sending it to a landfill, I'm trying to work with local, I guess, furniture restoration companies that can actually utilize that barn wood there and repurpose it and kind of continue the life of the barn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the steps I'm currently taking. Unfortunately, the 2 or 3 that I've spoken to, they do have backlogs of work and things of that nature, so I am trying to diligently pin them down, for lack of better terms, to, you know, be able to provide better updates to the town on the status of that. So I'm hoping by the end of next week I will have an answer regarding that. But I do know, you know, you guys do not like to see items reappear on this list month after month, so I'm just trying to avoid demoing it completely and sending it off to into the abyss. So that is currently where I stand with this barn. Of course, here for questions, comments, concerns, direction, anything of that nature to...
Well, it's good you're gonna try to save the exterior, because people do pay money for that kind of...
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's very good. I mean, it'd be easy just to demo it all, but if you can save that, that would be great. It's a shame it has to come down, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, it's also unfortunate that it's right there in the open on Parish in front of the new subdivision.
Yep.
You know, and that's mainly why it's here.
Yep, no, understood. Yeah, if it was tucked away a little bit on a farm field...
It'd be a different story.
It was one day, but, you know, as areas develop it...
Times have changed.
Yep, absolutely.
Thought you were gonna restore that to the public as a clubhouse for the residents. That's what I was told when I was looking at it.
Oh, we could have a public comment after. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all
Yeah.
for public comment too, so
Yeah. Any suggestions right now? I mean, what you
No,
want?
I think it's a shame it has to come down. I'm surprised in the era of all these wedding venues and all this farm. You don't wanna do that.
The problem with that is it is zoned a commercial lot, which is great. The problem is it's just so confined that, you know, again, the economics to bring back to life, the parking would be absolutely atrocious. You know, we have had some layouts, and we know that's probably going to be the #1 concern with, you know, planning department, planning commission, council, things of that nature. Of course, ingress, egress, you know, we'd be coming off of Parish, there's an entrance right to the subdivision there.
Yeah.
There would almost have to be an entrance into the or an exit into the subdivision. So there are, like I said, a lot of driving factors that are making it extremely difficult.
Yeah, there's just not enough property there if you look at the...
Right.
It's only about,
I know you went out and secured that door. Thank you for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the main concern initially, because there are kids back there, and, you know, kids are kids, so, it's still secure. It looks like it from the street. I've not walked around it.
Yes, I do walk it periodically. I live in Cedar Lake, so I drive by it every day. So I do make sure that I don't see anything wide open.
I know I had to leave the last meeting, but like I said, I watched the video, and there was talk about repairing the roof. Is that on hold now, considering your
It is.
plan?
Yeah, I did meet with a roofing contractor. Unfortunately, we purchased this building and lot, I think it's roughly 2 years ago. At that point, it was beyond repair, and I actually met the same roofing contractor that looked at it years ago and said this should have been a complete roof repair at that point. And so it was not done then, and obviously just time goes by and it slowly deteriorates. So I did look into a repair just to put lipstick on a pig, for lack of better terms again.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, it would hold up for 3, 6, 9, 12 months, maybe longer, but then again, there could be another section of that roof that becomes in disrepair. So unless it's done completely, it, again, economically makes it very difficult to just
Yeah.
keep patching here and there.
Because this did change hands from Schilling to you.
Correct.
I think maybe some people weren't aware of that. Frankly, I wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
to touch base on the comment in the back, there may have been talks about a community clubhouse. I'm not aware of that, so that did not come out of my mouth.
I wonder if that was
That-
something before.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Changed ownership. I don't know anything about that conversation, but.
Yeah. Okay.
So the intention, I mean, like, I understand you're checking into it. What's your general time frame here, do you think?
I wish I had a crystal ball, because if I do end up engaging with one of these French restoration companies, they could sit there and tell me, hey, it's gonna take me 3 to 6 weeks to bring it down. I don't know, because again, it is a unique building with the height and of course the current structure, so obviously safety is a concern. You have to do it methodically. If we were to go and demo it, just level it and ship it off, that is obviously the quicker route. So I guess, I don't want to say the ball's in your court. I mean, do you want to see this done and gone ASAP, or can I get a little time to hopefully salvage some of the history and some of the structure for?
I mean, being that we couldn't, take any action last meeting, I would say we should at least consider that.
I have no problem with that, personally. I would love to see some of it salvaged.
Mhm.
It's now that it's secure, I mean, that makes me feel better. As long as you can just continue to keep an eye on that for us, I think that would be helpful. I don't want to leave it open-ended either.
Right.
But
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I appreciate the desire to save some of our history here.
I mean, I guess I could say, 60 to 90 days. Again, worst case scenario would be a complete demo. I'm confident within 60 to 90 days it would be
I feel more comfortable with 60.
60.
Are you okay with that instead
Yeah.
of 30? I don't think for the scope of what, to get somebody in there to do an assessment, if they were to dismantle it, that would, to me, take a little bit more than a 30-day trying to line something up.
Yeah, could we do 60, but with the understanding that if he calls in the meantime and needs a permit, that we would
Absolutely.
agree to issue that for the remainder of those 60 days?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And I know I asked the last meeting, I would obviously need a demo permit to bring it down. I would still need some sort of permit for dismantling too, correct? Is that a partial demo permit, or is
I
that?
suppose it would still be demo, it'd just
Okay.
be over a longer duration.
Okay,
Okay.
so I believe that's the June 19th meeting?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I would feel comfortable with a 60-day deferral, with the understanding that if you did need that demo permit before those 60 days, to go ahead and call and that can be issued.
Okay,
With an expiration of our next meeting. So even if you're mid-process, you come to the next meeting and say, yep, we're 2 weeks in, we've got 2 weeks to go, can you extend it for those 2 weeks or whatever the case is?
okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, perfect.
Sounds good.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion for a 60-day deferral, and within that time, if they can get a permit for demo, that we at least see an update on it. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Motion carries 3-0.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, item number 10, 14523 Bryant Street, Cox. Name and address for the record, please.
Patrick Cox, 14523 Bryan Street.
Okay, do we have any update, Ashley or Tony?
No, this was one of our work session
Yeah.
items where we kind of disclosed that around the property needed to be cleaned up, the garbage, the debris, all that started needing to be cleaned up, and then needed to come up with a plan for the deck to start.
Thank you. this is the suggested list, what you're
Right, yeah.
wanting to. And if I remember, the stuff was cleaned up from the front from last time, Tony? I'm trying to remember from the last meeting, the debris that was in the front, or if that's the
Some was
side.
cleaned up.
Huh?
I would believe some was cleaned up. I would have to stop by to take fresh pictures if you'd like.
And these pictures are from,
December, I believe, November, December.
yeah, I mean, I'd like to see an update on this as well, Tony.
Okay.
I don't know if I should just,
I almost feel like this is similar to Mr. Linden
similar,
with,
on a smaller scale.
yeah, with,
I don't
I mean,
think there's a repairing to the shed because it looks like it's an enclosed addition and parts of the actual house can't be on piers. It has to be under an actual foundation. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Tony.
It's a porch. The porch has just been enclosed, that's all it is.
There was never a permit for it, though. We have no idea how it was built, and that flat roof, I don't know why there's shingles, I don't know.
yeah, the porch is the white part, right, and then,
The porch is the issue with the house, really.
yeah. I mean, to me, Tony, I feel is this similar to Mr. Linden, where we would want to see a site inspection just for the fact of what, you know, is that gonna need to come down? What's underneath the porch? What's behind it, you know?
Right.
In between the white part of the porch and the siding of the main part of the house?
Right. Yeah, I don't know that the porch is, don't know how the porch is built. Like I said, it appeared, the report states just from GIS pictures, roughly the time that it appeared on there, on the house, that is, and there was no permit for it, and we have no idea how it was built.
Yeah, and I think that list, kinda doesn't help you out, Tony, as far as what, you know, without seeing the actual condition, without going out there and.
Right.
So primarily, we're talking about the porch area that's,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, there's some cleanup on other stuff, but.
Right.
Could we get some current pictures when you go do a site inspection, set it up?
Mhm.
And
I mean,
then,
that'll be of the premises, the grounds, I mean, the porch hasn't changed any, right?
right,
No,
Same as it was, so.
he's got a little scope of the things that he
Right,
wants
yeah.
to do, so this is nothing on there wait, hold on.
I mean, so if we're talking replace all bad wood, this is replacing wood on a porch that never had a permit. That's a problem.
But he would need a permit for this work, right?
Yes.
So, similar,
But my concern is how the porch was built, the roof lines, all that, I mean, there are no roof, if there's shingles on basically a flat roof, which doesn't work. So there's some issues here that need to be.
So I would think before he could do with this scope of work, he'd still need the site inspection similar to Mr. Linden.
Probably so.
And 'cause this could be maybe a more extensive list after you
Right.
go.
Right.
Does that make sense?
yeah, same as,
Similar, yeah. Yeah, I would say look for the same kind of motion as Mr. Linden,
okay.
if you're ready.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for a 30-day deferral and ask Tony to do a second site inspection. You'll be in the neighborhood, so,
As far as debris in the yard.
yeah, debris in the yard, some
yeah, that's
updates.
all been cleaned up. I mean, everything's gone.
Right, as long as we can have some updated pictures from
Okay,
Tony,
yeah, no
that way we,
problem.
yeah.
And then he can get eyes on the porch and see what needs
Yeah,
to be done
the
for
porch
that.
was already there and it was built with the permit, the porch was. And,
I don't think we have one on file is the problem.
yeah, I think she said that the porch was built in it had a permit to build the porch, and it was inspected, and
So if you could find that, Ashley, just to double check, please? Or you can actually look now.
because it was all inspected, the porch was in perfect shape, it was
There was a deck permit in 1999.
the deck, well,
But when it was enclosed, and if the enclosing was done properly and to code.
Right.
Sometime after 2013. According to GIS pictures, the enclosure showed up sometime after 2013.
So I can try and find and pull that 99 permit for the next meeting?
Yes, if you could. So,
Absolutely.
if you can, that would be in the motion for Ashley or not necessarily?
Nope, I
Okay.
made a note.
Okay,
Okay, deferral 90 days.
no,
30
days.
Sorry,
30 days.
30 days.
Asking Tony to do a site inspection, get some updated pictures of the exterior, and then put eyes on the porch.
A little better scope of work if, what would be required to bring it up to code.
Yes, and then if we can get that report, and then we can go from there at the next meeting, we would know how to issue a, permit at that point.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion by Heather, second by Jeff, for a 30-day deferral. Tony, to do the site inspection and updated photos. As far as scope of work goes, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Desauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
Should you have to get ahold with Ashley and set up a time when you get out there with Tony? All right?
do what?
You'll have to get ahold of Ashley and set up a time when you can get out, when Tony can get out there.
Anytime, anytime. I don't live there, but my daughter lives there.
Okay, well, somebody will still need to
Just,
contact.
yeah, have somebody either who lives there or you get in contact with me and we'll set up that site inspection, okay?
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
write your number on there.
absolutely.
Item number 11, 9110 West 142nd Avenue, Pavlovich.
That's
This, if the board would remember, this is that, unsafe property
Yeah.
on 142nd with the emergency demolition order. The owner did contract with, McAllister's to get that removed. They have pulled that permit. I know when Tony went out sometime after they pulled the permit, it wasn't done yet.
Either early this week or late last week, it wasn't even. So that would've been the second time I went past, so. Didn't go past today. I don't know if they got it.
When we,
Report today or not.
didn't we say if they called, we would issue a 30-day permit? So it should be expired.
Yeah, it expired yesterday, I believe. They picked it up on the 8th.
So what now with that? They have an expired permit, and it's not down.
Unless they got it down yesterday.
Guessing probably not.
So the direction of the board is we could either extend that permit, or we could continue the execution of the emergency order, and I could have him go out and clean it up.
I mean, it sounds like they
got the permit.
and they found a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it in short order, just
Yeah.
for the record, right? All this
Yeah.
happened at the
Yeah,
last
I can't
meeting.
see going
Right.
through an emergency, yeah, I'm good with that. If you wanna-
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for a 30-day deferral. Can you reach out to them though, Ashley, and let them know? I mean, you'll have to anyways, because they don't have a permit right now. But just kind of ask them to,
And you're gonna extend it for extend the permit?
yeah, extend the permit for 20, until the day before the next meeting.
March 4th, not March, May 14th?
Yes.
Okay, I can have that done.
Could you please email us after you talk to them?
Absolutely.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion for a 30-day deferral and to extend the permit, to the day before the next meeting, which is May 14th. And they would, need to appear.
Okay.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Desauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to potentially unsafe, item 1, 8705 West 132nd Place, Kubiak Properties Incorporated.
So Tony was able to complete the unsafe report for this property. It is on your meeting iPad. If you want to take a look through it, if it is the determination of the board that this is unsafe, I will send a notice to, and it's the direction of the board, I will send a notice to the owner or an owner representative to appear at the meeting next month.
I feel yes, it definitely is.
I would agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. So that would have to come in the form of a motion then for Ashley for the direction of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would make that part of the motion and to move this to an active unsafe agenda item.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Heather, seconded by Jeff, to move this to active unsafe. And can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Oh, say that again.
We'll notify the owners.
And to notify the owners? Sorry.
Yes, yes,
Okay, roll call. Sorry, Cheryl.
Mr. Beal?
yes.
Ms. Esauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Item number 2, 13333 Lamore Street, Vogel.
So this is one that Tony gave a verbal report on at the last meeting. It just wasn't clear if there was a direction for him to make that report for this meeting. So the request is that any direction is that an unsafe report is to be made for this property.
All right, and this is the one, Tony, that you guys were in it before, right? That's,
You were in it, or still on the ground, January, something like that. Tim,
you do not have, you don't have access anymore like you did.
I don't believe we do. There may be enough broken windows to get in through, but that's not my.
Well, no, I don't want you to do that. We still need to,
Basement, that is.
I would definitely
Yeah, the
say we move this
basement,
to active unsafe.
Main concern.
And
Can't yet, right, you need
Oh.
some sort of report other than the oral report from Tony that we can base that off of. I think that was a discussion we kinda had at the work session. Cause this was the one that a tenant had let you in on, and there were issues with the ceiling and.
And they were gonna get a contractor and do some stuff, and then they
Yeah.
said they couldn't do it because they didn't do structural or something,
And the property
And a
owners
long
live in
string of-
California.
and they live in
Yeah,
California.
so your report would be based upon photographs you can take on the outside and whatever photographs you previously took on the inside along with your recollections of what you observed.
have you been in contact with the owner?
Tony has.
I have back and forth, trying to get her to understand that she needs a general contractor, that we don't run the job.
Is it worth asking to get access?
They live in Ventura, California, so if they haven't, someone out here who's managing it, maybe they can let us in.
And we're gonna need to contact them, for sure. Well,
So we'll just stay on the agenda as,
well, I think we need to
Potential.
instruct Tony to go and to do the report.
Yes.
And then when he goes from there,
And then I should have a report from you next week.
okay. Can I get that would be the motion then, right?
Yeah, I'd make a motion.
Instructing, okay. Can I get a motion for instructing Tony to do the unsafe report?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Esauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to update items, Ashley?
7512 West 128th Lane. I know I reached out to Mr. Steskey for him to be here. Not sure if he's present. This is one that was on the list for a little while, and kind of went on because we were waiting on tax sale to finish up, kind of went on a list to just kind of hold. The tax sale finally finished. From my understanding, his current intention is going to be demolishing that house and rebuilding on it because he now has the ability to access the property. The problem with it had been he only had one sliver of property and the house kind of straddles. So he hadn't really had the capability of working on the property without going on somebody else's. He now has 25 and 27 as well, but I can reach out to him again and direct him to be at the next meeting.
I think that would be good.
Yes.
12901 Hilltop, it was reported to Mr. Teal last month that this one is down. The bill is not created yet because we are waiting on some fill to be able to come in. But if it is the direction of the board, I can always remove this item from the list, and then once the bill is created, advise you of that creation.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then 6599 Fernwood, 14021 Windsor, 7029 West 135th Avenue, 7020 West 139th Place. Those are all still on the demolition list, just to advise the board. All of those affirmation orders were passed in 2022 towards the end, so if we don't want the orders to expire, we will have to demolish these properties before, the first one, I believe, expires in October of this year. And that one is the 7029 West 135th. So I am working with the Director of Operations to try and figure out which one we can get to next and get those down before the orders expire. Otherwise, we have to repeat the unsafe process all over.
And I feel that the 135th one may be as, I don't wanna say as easy as the Hilltop, but it's similar. I mean, it's close, it's easily accessible, it's small for the most part.
Yes, I'm working with him, and I think that's the one we're really pinpointing as the next one.
Yeah.
Similar with the two town properties, working with him on when we can get access to them and try and get those taken care of.
Right.
The Stoyer one, it is all right with the board. I will keep it on a list as the unsafe and update, but then provide updates when they're provided from the owner instead of it continually staying on the update list.
I think it would be better to keep it on the list.
Keep it on the list? Okay.
Yeah. And going back to the town properties, is the woman who was wanting to purchase that one still wanting to purchase?
As of the last time I spoke with her, yes. And then I instructed Tim at the one time to contact an adjacent property owner.
Right.
To go through, I mean, 'cause it's literally right on, their property line. But I have not heard anything back from, Tim on that.
That one, for me, is confusing because we have someone who wants to buy it and take it off of our record.
Logistics to get to it, to get it down. To go through the adjacent property to the direct south of it is the easiest path. I mean, it's basically his parking lot / driveway, if you see from the photos.
Didn't that person agree to?
The people, property owners, I wanna say to the west, said they can have access, but it would have to be when the ground is hard. Now, absolutely would tear it up. So that's the issue, going through the person that allows access. So it's not as simple as, just going there from their property, because right now there's no way we can go through the access there. That's why Tim was gonna talk with the adjacent property owner directly south of it, because literally you could put the roll-off right in that parking lot / driveway in.
Is there a reason Tim's doing it and someone from the town can't call?
Yes, because I instructed him to do so, because he said he has a good relationship with the owner, and he was gonna talk to them, because I asked him to talk to the adjacent property owner.
I don't know how well that's gonna work, considering we had to sue him. So, related to this particular property.
Right.
I don't know how amenable he'll be with all of that.
That's why it's best it's Tim, because Tim does have a pretty good relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely doesn't wanna hear from us, I'll tell you that.
Correct.
We don't know if Tim's called them or stopped by.
I can check up with him tomorrow and provide an update to the board.
That'd be great.
I do have one question, Ryan, as far as update to the unsafe ordinance and everything, how are we looking with
Yeah,
that?
Dave and I have been working on it, we got a pretty good game plan as to how we're gonna get that thing assembled. We anticipate having that done probably, what the council just met last night, so I would imagine by the May meetings, we should be good to go.
Okay, I didn't ask Ashley to put it on the agenda, but I figured it could be something as simple as a question, just to find out.
Sure.
Does the, board have any other questions before we go to public comments, or?
Was the direction clear on that about how money is going to go into that non-reverting fund? Is that what you're talking about?
Well,
That's the nuisance ordinance you're talking.
Yeah, so that, how money goes in would be related to the nuisance ordinance. And yes, I believe we did kind of spell it out. We know that it's not gonna be the first time they bring it to us or council that it's gonna be set. We may need to tweak a little things, but yes, it does direct how it goes into the unsafe building non-reverting fund.
Fantastic. That was my only question.
Yeah, I thought it was a productive meeting that day.
Yeah.
All
There were
right.
a few other minor things we had to tweak, like the fee scheduling was way off.
Yeah.
And I'm working on that on my end, and I'm gonna be getting numbers from Ryan on him at his end to make sure that it's updated appropriately.
Okay.
Very good.
Moving on to public comment. Do we have any public comment for unsafe building department? Chuck?
Hi, Chuck Decker, 6100 West 136th Place. Subdivision with the barn. When originally it got accepted, I thought that silo in the barn, or the barn, it was supposed to be like a community center. If it's gonna be torn down, I hope they at least put in there where they have to keep it green space, not be able to develop on it in the
It
future.
changed hands, Chuck, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. It changed hands and it's a commercial lot.
It went from Schilling to Diamond Peak at some point, which I didn't even know until it got brought to us
But it was approved with it,
from Schilling.
but it doesn't go with the property.
Should.
What do you mean go with the property?
It goes with the property when it got approved.
Well, it wasn't approved as green space, though, it was approved as keeping they wanted to keep the barn.
Correct. So if we have to tear it down now, if they want to tear it down, it should have to be green space.
What's a commercial lot?
I-
It was
yeah,
gonna be a commercial
I
property
need to look
before.
at how things were worded and approvals. I don't,
That needs to happen.
that was
Yeah.
prior to me being planning director, so I'll pull minutes and take a look at that. But it would also depend on how motions and approvals were worded on whether or not that was an approval that it was going to be a community center and be repaired, or if it was just approved for them to have that as a commercial space.
Right,
So I'll take a look into that.
right, thanks.
Thank you.
Robert Grosek, 14055 Deodore. What's going on with the Salesian property on Klein? It looks like a mess. You drive by there.
Good question.
Who owns that property?
That would be another Kubiak property.
Well, I'd like to make, I can't. Maybe a motion should be made to put that on a potential unsafe, at least to start the procedure.
That predates all of your involvement, it was,
It does.
it was on.
Years.
It was, I sat through years' worth of meetings in which the Salesians property was on the agenda.
There was an update provided last year.
Before December, I thought it was
Yeah,
It was like
fall,
here, October maybe?
roughly.
October of '22, sometime '23, there was an update provided on it. The direction at the time had been to make sure that the property is being mowed, the appropriate feedback from Klein Avenue, the building's being kept secure, until such a time that something can be done with it. And part of the reason for that is back at, before even I started with the town, the first time the Salesian was on, it was gonna be like $500,000 to demolish that property.
It was about $250,000 just to reduce it to rubble.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was kind of, they were brought in, told to make sure that it stayed secured, and then it was kind of bumped back off for the time being.
Well, and I know at that time, because I was at the meeting, prior to me being on this board, when it was secure, but then funny thing is, shortly after that, Halloween came around, and there were several photos on Facebook, people taking their Halloween photos there, and that's, not secure. So,
You think it's secure?
I haven't been back there. I've been back there for, I don't know how long.
would we need to just instruct him, we wouldn't have to amend, or Ryan, would we have to amend the agenda to instruct Tony to do this, or can he just go and do an initial report?
You can give him a direction to do the report, just
I'm-
from here. Because
Okay,
it's a citizen report to you based on public comments, you don't need to amend it.
okay. You got that, Tony? Okay. By next meeting, we can have a report for,
I hope so.
and I don't know the address off the top of my head, but the Legion probably will call it.
Also, with the barn, I spoke to that gentleman, but he leaves before anybody can make any comments. He told me as he was leaving last meeting that he was gonna put signs up around that barn. No trespassing, there's one sign on the south side, that's it. There's also a board missing over the door, so somebody can climb up on that door and get into that building, as of today.
On the south side?
Yes.
I know this, I saw the sign on the south side.
Mhm.
Could we ask him, to go back out and replace or fix whatever, wherever the hole is?
It's right over the door. I mean, you could climb up, any kid could climb up that door and go in there. I just don't wanna see anybody get hurt.
I agree.
Until then, and just put signs. A no trespassing sign costs $2, you put one on each side so they can't say they didn't see it.
Can you ask him that as well, Ashley? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Donna.
Hi. Donna Corey, 14605 Bryan Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. I have two things I want to say. I'm astonished about the Maple Croft Farm. My husband and all his brothers were little kids working there. I think it's a very historical part of Cedar Lake. I hope that it was, I did hear it was supposed to be some kind of event thing to be
Yeah.
remodeled. I've been to many old barns that I've gone to wedding receptions. I wish he did stay to hear some comments, but I will make sure I get the word out about what's gonna happen with this barn. And then second of all, of course, thank you for listening again about all the terrible houses in my subdivision. Pardon Mr. Cox's ignorance, that's my neighbor. I bought my house in 1996, he bought his house in 1999. That's when he did do probably a permit to put a back porch on. From there on, probably 5 years down the line, that's when his daughter moved in the house and has just gotten down completely 125,000%. It does look better, they did clean up the trees, but like I said, you can't teach a dog new tricks in that family. They clean it up for a minute and it goes right back to where it was. Same with the ignorance of like Mr. Frick, I feel. I lived in that neighborhood, I walked that neighborhood. Those houses that are on that list have remained completely the same, except for the one on Bryan Street at the end of the house that they want to sell. I feel they just get worse and worse and worse as the weeks go by, more rain, more everything. So it's same with Mr. Linden, that house has just been forever. I mean, I feel he has no intention on doing anything to that place, and same with Mr. Frick. He knows better, he's had a house in our subdivision, had to come down too. So he's playing a little, I think, stupid up here, and it's very obvious. But thank you again, and thank you for a wonderful job you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more public comment, on unsafe building? Any more comments?